He went, this is a disgrace. He pretty much said, we made you, Salah, so you can't do that to us. He basically went, before Liverpool, you were, this is what he said, which I found mad. He went, you were the guy that failed at Chelsea.
Yeah, crazy.
That was word for word, bar for bar, what he said. And I thought, fair, probably a bit far, because he was fantastic at Roma before he signed him. But obviously, ultimately, Mo Salah became Mo Salah that we all know at Liverpool. And then Mo Salah came out today and posted just a photo of him alone at the gym. Which was quite, because all the squad had travelled yesterday, and I did find it quite funny. And then,
do you think that was in response to Carragher, or was that just?
I think that's just in response to the entire situation.
Yeah. It was not directed at
like a wordless message, being like, maybe saying, I'm still committed. Look at me. I've been left out. I'm still at the gym.
I don't necessarily think that's what it was.
No,
no, because I mean, obviously he's still committed because he's still picking up $400,000 a week. I'd be committed as well, but I think it's more. I think it's more emphasising the point that I've said what I've said. I've not travelled with the squad. I'm here on my ones in the gym.
But But like that's maybe what he's trying to show. But I don't know if there's anything extra motivation beyond that. I don't know, being like like no days off or something.
No, I don't think there is. I think you're clutching.
No, I'm just wondering, because when someone says something like post a photo like that without any words. It's kind of, maybe the whole point is that, it's up for interpretation. But the more interesting thing is, as you can see on the screen here, is Jamie Carragher replies to this and then says, I'm not sure I've wanted Liverpool to win a game more than tonight for a long time. Wow. Come you mighty Reds.
It's a shame, because obviously this is a guy that has given so much to Liverpool, and he is a club legend, right? And a lot of what's going to happen and how this is now unfolding is going to end up with tarnishing what is such a great legacy for him. Like, it's never going to change, obviously, what the numbers he's put up and what he's achieved with Liverpool and what he's won with Liverpool, but it will leave a sour taste at the end if this is now how it ends and he doesn't play another game for Liverpool, because I personally can't see how he does pull that shirt on again and play for Arne Slot and play for the club again, unless he was to go in and give an apology, which it doesn't seem to me so far that's what Mo Salah is leaning towards. And then you've got someone like Carragher, who has been very critical. And I think it's divided the fan base so much. Like, some people are like, I stand with Salah, but AGT made a great point yesterday. Like, no one player is bigger than your club, bigger than the institution. And you should keep that in-house. As soon as someone tries to disrupt that, or, call out ownership or call out management or whatever, like, I don't know whether or not his angle was to try and get Arne Slot sacked and put the nail in his coffin, but if anything, it's kind of backfired. And even from my own club, I remember when Antonio Conte gave a scathing interview. I think we'd lost to Burnley, maybe, or can't remember who it was. It's the iconic interview that he gave, and he absolutely ripped into the club, and the players and everything. And I pretty much agreed with everything that he said. But once you cross that line of coming for the club, the institution, the board, there isn't really a way back for you after that. And it's unfortunate that I think it puts Mohamed Salah in this situation where after AFCON, he might not be returning.
That's the gripe I had with it more than anything. So when we were speaking yesterday, it was me and Laurie here with FJ. And FJ, to be fair to him, put in a big defence for Salah, didn't he? He was very, very pro-Salah on this whole thing. Because FJ's been very pro-Slot as well. And after this, FJ pretty much said, if Salah goes in January, get rid of Slot. And that's someone who's been very pro-Slot the entire time, pretty much until this moment. But the gripe I had with Salah with this is that I still refuse to believe that. So what he did is it's a last-ditch Hail Mary kind of thing, isn't it? Like when Ronaldo did it with Piers Morgan, that's because the relationships were already broken. They were already broken beyond repair. He already wanted to leave and this and that.
But the Hail Mary is in order to leave.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. That's why Ronaldo did it.
This is what I find so surprising about this entire thing, is because Mo Salah, I refuse to believe that if he really wanted to repair relations or maybe wanted to stay at Liverpool, there were probably other ways of doing this. Even if it's book a meeting with your CEO, actually burst into Slot's door and go, we're talking about this. Like, if he actually wanted to do that, he would have. And I refuse to believe that he had already... I refuse to believe. I feel like he... Maybe he already did try this stuff, but it felt like if he had tried this stuff, he would have said, all he said was, suddenly I don't have a relationship and I don't know why. And it's like, well, if you don't know why, and then you didn't take the steps to try and figure it out behind closed doors first, that's the gripe I had with it. But with AGT's view, I was watching the show, and to be fair, I think he's had the best take on this.
Yeah.
His take was spot on in that, no one is bigger than the club, and that's maybe what Carragher was trying to say, but Carragher went personal.
I think that's the point. Like, he did touch on that, Carragher, but then, calling out what he hasn't necessarily achieved with Egypt, for example. Like,
a couple of months ago, he was saying that AFCON is not a real tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I
now
think
he's using it in
some things. I think that we can take with, like, okay, that's a jab, that's a personal jab. We don't need to kind of buy into those type of things. Like, that's his view. I agree with his view in the way that it's a team sport, and yes, he has led Liverpool to a lot of success, but there's also a team in that. There's also a team behind you on the pitch, off the pitch, and all of that. So that interview that he gave after the game on Saturday night wasn't about the team. It wasn't bettering the team. It was about him and solely him. And I think that angle that people are looking at, and that angle that Jamie Carragher was talking about, I think that is spot on. That was not about helping anyone other than Mo Salah, either to get himself out of the situation that he's in, not wanting to sit on the bench, but also wanting to get a resolution. But he has only just got given that massive contract, and that was only a few months ago. And football is very fickle. I say this all the time. I think that as a leader in that club and in kind of that camp, like, you sometimes have to put yourself to the side for the greater good of the team. Now, he's not a player that is going to track back. I think that Carragher's points about Trent were actually very important in that. I think that might probably not be a key factor in what he said. People might not cling on to it, but I actually think it was very important. We constantly criticise Trent for his defensive ability, but he had no one actually helping him because Salah wasn't there to really track back and give him that assistance. Amazing going forward, and obviously the relationship between Trent and Salah is unreal, and we've seen Salah miss that this season. But it was a valid point that when you have a luxury player like that, whether it's an Mbappe, whether it's a Messi, whether it's a Ronaldo, whether it's a Salah, for example, you can carry that if you're performing and the rest of the team is. But if you can't defend, which, let's be honest, this season Konate can't defend, Virgil van Dijk can't defend. Conor Bradley's been okay. Kirkus hasn't been okay. The only option you've got to switch that out is Joe Gomez. So you can't really afford to have a luxury player right now because you'd lost 9 and 12. So I understand him coming out of the team. And if you can't look at the bigger picture as saying, well, actually, I'm not going to do the dirty work, I can't do the dirty work, then actually, for the greater good of the team right now, I should come out so we can get back to winning ways.
Do you think to a certain extent then maybe the points Carragher was trying to make were good or valid points, but the way he then landed them is maybe more of the issue here?
I think it's emotion. I think that this is such an emotional situation, like, for the fans, for the club. The club's had a difficult few months. We go back the last 6 months to losing Jota and everything that's gone on since then on the pitch. Liverpool fans aren't used to losing games and being in this situation. It's been a very long time since they've been in a situation like this. So emotions are high. And obviously they're all still grieving as a club anyway. Plus you're adding this into it, who is like their club legend, maybe top 3 ever best players to have ever worn a Liverpool shirt. Like, there's a lot going on at the minute. And I think that with Jamie Carragher, who is a fan of Liverpool, knows what it means to wear that badge, play for that club, and is loyal through and through to that club, seeing someone throw the club under the bus, that's never going to sit right with him. So that's going to invoke those kind of emotional responses that a fan would have, rather than someone that is maybe more balanced and being a pundit. Because it's like with anything, if you had someone for Arsenal that came out and said that, if Thierry Henry would have come out and said that, as a fan you would lead with your emotion. When Ronaldo did it, you lead with emotion.
Yeah.
It's like we can sit here as outsiders looking in on this Liverpool situation, have probably a more, I don't want to say balanced view, but maybe more of like a pragmatic approach and pragmatic view of it across the board, because it's not our club, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. But I think when it is someone that it is in your club and it affects you, obviously your emotion levels are going to be way higher.
But then as well, Carragher had about 2 or 3 days to like actually think about what he was going to say, and his opening line was, "This is a disgrace." Like, that was his opening line. He went, but
that's the first time he's been able to properly air it in the way he wants to air it. He can sit there and air it on X and whatever, but on Instagram, whatever. But he, him being able to actually get it off his chest. It's same way as AGT come in here yesterday morning, and he's literally said, "Guys, I just need to get it off my chest. No one talk while I'm talking."
Well, Monday Night Football, I think they didn't let him talk about it for the first about hour and a half of that show. I was sat there. I know United were playing at 8 p.m, but I was like, you know what? I want to see what Carragher's saying about the Wolves game. I know that happened last night. Worst 4-1 win I've ever seen in my entire life. Terrible 4-1 win. But I want to ask you, Laurie, do you think, especially with Carragher here saying that he's not sure he's wanted Liverpool to win a game more than the game tonight. Is that going too far? Is that then crossing the line? Because you think about Liverpool, the games they've had in the last 5 years, right? These high stakes games. They've had these big matches against Man City in title races, and they've had Champions League finals, they've had Champions League semi-finals, cup finals, FA Cup finals, League Cup finals. And then suddenly, this is the one where Carragher's going, I want to win this one more than anything. Is he then putting kind of maybe, I don't know if personal agenda is the right word, but it may be his personal vendetta against Salah at the moment, way too high up, almost over his support for the club, by saying that this is the one he wants to see his club win, rather than all of the massive trophy deciding games they've had in the last 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, I got home yesterday and I watched Carragher's rant, and I've got to say, he seemed to be spitting fire.
Spitting fire, not feathers.
Did you notice as well, by the way?
The irony of that
Sky
will not
Sports
be
as
lost
well,
on some people.
Sky Sports as well, behind Carragher, had put like red flames and stuff behind it.
Well,
I used the term.
Yeah, but I was sorry. Give me a second. But I was looking at it, going, "That is incredible from you guys," because you sat there in the video. He's there. Carragher's got two hands on the chair like this, going.
He's
There's
fuming.
fire coming out behind him.
No, the guy's fuming. He's absolutely furious.
Yeah.
I did use the term spitting advisedly. If you know, you know. But anyway, so he was spitting fire, as he's been known to have done in the past.
He doesn't hold back.
I got that now. Yeah.
You get that now,
Got
right?
that, yeah.
Okay, I don't think Dylan's quite got the...
No,
but anyway.
got that.
So he was spitting fire. Now listen, with Jamie Carragher's remarks, I've got to say, it did seem to be an element, more than an element actually, of personal vendetta about it, I've got to say. Because
At the same time, Salah kind of started it by actually
listen,
name-dropping Carragher
I've
the
got
other day.
fire for Salah as well. I'm going to get onto it in a minute. But with Carragher's comments, yes, a lot what he said was grounded in truth. But when your opening remark is, listen, mate, you were nothing before you came to this club. You're a flop at Chelsea. Immediately I'm thinking, yeah, he's going down a slightly personal route. As I said previously, mentioning Egypt, this is the same Jamie Carragher that was pretty condescending towards AFCON recently. So why are you mentioning you've never done nothing for Egypt in AFCON? I don't think that's relevant to this conversation. That being said, though, I said yesterday, I thought Salah's comments were overly emotive. I thought they were egotistical. I said they were self-serving, narcissistic, arrogant, disrespectful, and somewhat delusional. I mean, when you're saying to the world that, listen, I shouldn't have to fight for my place because of the stuff I've done for the club, I thought that was really
Crazy.
out of pocket.